Right. So we got Stevie Wonder at number one, Aretha Franklin at number two, Michael Jackson at number three, Beyonce at number four. We're going to jump to number nine, R. Kelly. Number 10, here we go, Marvin Gaye.
Mm-hmm.
That's another controversial one.
Is it?
Marvin Gaye was, like I said, this is before, well, as far as who's ahead of him. I can't put R. Kelly above Marvin Gaye. I can't do that.
I can see that.
Marvin Gaye, he's a legend, and this is where the ones where those is probably under 30 maybe.
Oh, sure.
Under 30, they may not really be familiar with Marvin Gaye, and I got a feeling, I don't know this for sure, but these Billboard employees, I got a feeling they some college boys or some young 20-year-olds that put this list together. That's just a strong intuition by me. Number 11, Ray Charles. Here we go. Here go a good one. Number 12 is Usher, the all-time greatest R&B singer. They got Usher at number 12. Thoughts on Usher? And I love Usher.
I'm almost like a victim of the reverse of what you just said, right? Because I am older now, you know what I'm saying? And Usher's a great, when I think about it, Usher is a great entertainer. That's for sure. but the music is different in terms of the production of the music. Is he a musician? Is he? He may be a producer. He may be able to produce music now. You know what I'm saying? Through the keyboards. But is he a musician? Because he certainly doesn't seem to be the type of musician you're going to get from Ray Charles or James Brown or Stevie Wonder. He doesn't seem like he's certainly on that level. And that's for sure kind of what this list is saying. But at the same time, he definitely dominated a generation of music for people younger to rock with. So, do I agree with it? I would say, yeah, I agree with it. I think he made his mark and is able to live off his name at this point in time. So I would say, yeah, I might go ahead and agree with that, especially as we continue to look at some people below that, like number 13, right? I will probably put Usher above Sam Cooke, right?
Okay, Sam Cooke.
Right? 14. Now this 14 is all right. Now this is something that I really feel strongly about, right? It's good to see my man Curtis Mayfield getting the respect he deserves as a musician.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember when I grew up in my household, my mom and family members used to listen to Curtis Mayfield, Barry White. A whole bunch of. When I was a kid, when I was in elementary, middle school, when the grown folks got together and we had to go in the basement or outside.
Yeah, they throw your bed down the cars or something, and the music was going, and I remember.
I was a kid in his generation, so Curtis Mayfield, you can't, and I'm very respectful to our legends and those that come before us. And even personally, I respect my elders. And Curtis Mayfield, 14, I can't fight that.
I like that. I definitely like that pick for him to see him up there amongst those greats and getting that recognition. I remember a few years back when, about 10, 15 years back, long after Curtis Mayfield's career was over, a Mexican friend of mine, man, a guy named Jaime, man, was like, kind of brought it back to my attention. He was like, man, you don't know much about Curtis Mayfield? And I was like, nah, dog. And then he kind of put me back up on the idea, like, let me go back and check my man Curtis. But God, what a great songwriter.
Great songwriter.
Right? What a great songwriter and musician. And that's where I think the difference is for me, is when you look at those top guys, you look at Stevie and some of those top guys, I'm talking about not just singers, but writers, musicians,
Absolutely.
producers. You know what I'm saying? They were multifaceted in terms of the production of the music.
Exactly. There were composers. Like
Right.
they put all the components together.
That's the word. And that might be one of my small arguments against Usher, who seems to certainly have benefited more from the modern productivity of the music today, where he may not have had that kind of hands-on productivity skill of some of these other guys we see on the list. That would be my only critique against Usher. No disrespect to him and the fame that he built and all the great songs that he has, but that would be one of my small critiques against him.
Yeah. And then I'm glad number 15, Isaac Hayes.
Yes, sir.
Right behind him. That's another good one. Here go one. Number 16, Mary J. Blige. This is my era also. Mary J. This is tough. I love Mary J. But after going through this entire list, I can't put Mary J at 16.
Can you put her above? I mean, she's right above Janet Jackson.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't agree with that.
Now that goes now for the 2000s on. I'm gonna put her with Usher. She's definitely from the 2000s on and the youngsters.
She's more 90s though.
Yeah, she is 90s, little 90s, but the 2000s she was at the top of her peak. She was at the top of her peak.
But comparing her to Janet Jackson,
Whoa, that's tough.
that's tough.
That's tough. And guys and everybody out there, this is all debatable because, like I said, this is a friendly debate. I'm in music. I've been in some hostile artists, especially when it came down to Big and Pac and those type of days. You know, people get offended. How dare you talk about my favorite singer or my favorite artist? You know, but this is all in love and it's all opinions. And then who was number 18? And this is another one. I grew up to this also. Al Green.
Sure.
Al.
Woo!
Oh man.
Sound he has, like when you hear an Al Green song, you know that's Al Green. Man. He has such an original sound. He's, the way he put his music together is so unique, so individual, so singular in that regard, man. I love Al Green.
Love and happiness. I love me some Al Green.
He's got so many. And then you gotta also too. I think part of the question comes for me is the influence, right? And you look at the influence clearly, James Brown, but Al Green for sure on hip hop music. How many people have used Al Green samples, throughout the time? So what impact have you had on artists that come after you? And that's certainly Michael Jackson has had an incredible impact, right, on artists that come after him. But I love Al Green at 18. My man Smokey, man, do you agree with Smokey at 19?
That's another one. See, Smokey, he was another one that was ahead of my time.
Right.
And the songs I heard from Smokey, the good thing about hearing some of the old, like Smokey and Al Green, Curtis Mayfield, they had a sound, right, that was just unique. It was like happy. It was like uplifting. Like you felt something.
And that's what this is. We say R&B, but many of these R&B dudes are soul singers, right? And that's the uplifting part of the music. I know this. I always thought Curtis Mayfield was the person who wrote "Diamond in the Back," but it wasn't. But the point there is, there's some words in there like "Diamond in the Back." You guys know that song, and there are some uplifting words and messages in that song in particular, and that's what that soul music did, man. It was a way to put music on and lift up everybody's spirit.
And I'm also going to add one more thing. I'm not the original person that said it. I forgot who said it. It was a comedian. Oh, it's right on top of my head. I'm going to remember as soon as we get done recording. But the one thing about the old school and the new school, a lot of the old school, they made some love songs to where, you know, you built your lady, she could be, oh,
Come on. That's,
you
you know
know.
what? I tell my son, man, you need to put on some 70s music, man. You want to learn how to like, dude, those dudes sing today. They was singing today, woman.
But they say they used to sing,
Right.
as the old
Man,
folks
they
say.
was expressing love, man. They had love for their woman, and now just made it great. In my opinion.
And a lot of these new school singers, like I said, we keep it PG-13. You know, they a little less romantic. And, hey, baby, what's up? Let's dinner, movie, head to the house. You know, just it's, you know, it's a little different.
Got Luther Vandross up there in that list, 22. You know, I didn't mean to skip over my man Otis Redding and Donny Hathaway, but you got Luther Vandross up there. I think that's deserving. Teddy Pendergrass,
20. That's great.
certainly, I think that's deserving. Bill Withers.
That's enough.
That's an interesting person at 24, but certainly a guy with a unique sound of music.
Unique is another one. Before my time.
Oh wow!
Here go one right here now.
Wow!
Number 25. This is a little too low for the great Patti LaBelle. She got to be in them teens somewhere. She got to, and maybe not.
You could switch her with Mary J.
That's respectable.
And I would put Janet at 16, Patty at 17, Mary J at 25. I would switch. That would be, you know what I mean?
That's respectable. That is respectable.
And I will say this: probably the purest singer outside of Aretha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Patti LaBelle
Was Patti. Yeah,
we know Whitney.
Yeah.
We know Whitney. You know, but you're talking about pure singing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to be hard pressed to find a pure singer than Patti LaBelle.
Yeah, that's another great. She was another one grew up listening to. She was ahead of my time also. Now here go one. Number 26, Chris Brown. What's up, Chris?
I'm big up, man. Hey, and again, let's say this though. We were recording live at Compton College. We were recording live in Compton, man. We know Compton, California, man. You know the hub city. So we were recording live. Respect to Chris Brown, man. And he, to his credit, he's kept himself around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's kept himself around. I know he's, had a few, he's been in some things and, streets and kind of, got themselves involved in his career. He's got himself involved in that. And I don't know if that takes away from his stature as an artist, but
It do.
I don't know. I think that might be just slightly a little high for Chris.
Yeah, that is. I will put Chris Brown in that category with Usher. Talented men, very talented. Chris Brown, you rock. Usher, you rock. But we're talking about the 25 greatest of all time. I'm talking before some of these artists was before I was even born. So, Chris Brown, for that one. Now, if it was for 2000 on, top 5 easy.
Right.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of problems with him at 26. I think that's a little high. Let me see. People who come behind him though: Diana Ross, Gladys Knight, Anita Baker.
Yeah, Anita Baker.
Lionel Richie. I don't know
31.
if I can put Chris in front of some of those names.
I'm sorry, I can't put Chris in front of Gladys Knight,
No, sir.
Anita Baker,
No, sir.
or Lionel Richie. I can't do. This is tough.
Man,
I love it. And going through this list, y'all, bear with us. We're going over the list. We're just giving our opinions. We got nothing but love and respect for these artists. This is not this person versus that person. These are all great artists.
Absolutely.
But they got Alicia Keys at 33.
Now, I'm going to say this, man. I'm not even going to say much about Alicia because I'm married. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,